Hey everyone, today is Tuesday, February 7th. Last night I was up late. I was applying for a job. Woo. Yeah, I know. Normally I don't talk about this kind of stuff, but it's what's on my mind. And I spent a long time writing a cover letter for this position. You see, the side effect of being unemployed is that your resume starts to look kind of emaciated after a while. And no matter how much fluffing up you can do, by tailoring it towards the particular position, by saying I have these kind of skills, they inevitably still fall short of your own personal expectations. You're like, really? I've been around a lot longer. I've done more things. But when it comes down to the bullet points, I've only worked in these many places and I've only got this degree and, I did these things at these jobs and I have these skills that are generally applicable to pretty much every job. And then you throw in a couple things, you pull out a couple things, what have you, depending on the position and also how old some of the stuff on your resume becomes. And so that's why you have the cover letter. You can send a cover letter along to explain to sell yourself, essentially, because, you need to get your foot in the door, and the cover letter is what kind of does that for you. And I spent several hours last night working on what I think is an amazing cover letter. It took me a couple hours to actually break through the writer's block. And then I kind of started in the middle of the cover letter and then went up, and then I went back to the middle, and then I went down, and then I went back up a bit, and then I worked down again. And so it took me a while, but eventually I banged out this cover letter. And then when I was like, okay, I'm done, I'm going to apply to this job. And they only had a thing for the resume, where you can upload the resume. And then when I was like, okay, well maybe I can put the cover letter at the beginning of my resume, and I went to upload a new resume, and it said you can only do that once every 24 hours. I'm a little disappointed, not gonna lie. If I ever get a callback or email or what have you from these people, I would like to offer them a few tips if they're interested in how to improve their job application website, because it's probably done in-house, and so it's missing a couple of things. It's great on fluff and telling me what a wonderful company this is to work for, but it's not functional enough for modern internet job applications. That's my take on it, though. I have some suggestions on how to improve it, and if given the opportunity, I will convey these to the appropriate people. That said, I don't hold out a lot of hope. Well, actually, I have a lot of hope for this job. I really want this job. I think I can do a really great job in it. Yeah, I can do a great job in the job. I think I can fulfill the requirements of the position adequately until I can get more knowledge in the area that I have applied to. And yeah. Well, it's because this is something I cite in just about every cover letter I've ever written. And it's when I was in grad school, we kind of did this round robin where you would be given, I think our classes like met on Mondays or Tuesdays, or so, I think it was Tuesdays, and we were each given a schedule of the month or the semester, and we would adjust it as the semester went by, but each of us were given a part of the lesson plan to teach. And so she would say, all right, so for me it'd be like, okay, you here's this chapter in the book, here are these things in this other book. I want you to learn this, and I want you to teach it to us by next week. And so I would invariably put it off, because that wasn't my only class, and, life happens. So it comes around to about Sunday evening, and I go, crap, I need to teach Tuesday's class on, it was logistical and bivariate regression statistics. And I know that means nothing to you guys, and right now it means almost nothing to me. I know I did it. I know I can do it. I need to reteach myself if I ever need to do it again. But fortunately, on my laptop downstairs, I think are all my notes. So, but anyways, so that Sunday, I had gotten all my materials together. I quickly did a very short review of all the material that I needed to get familiar with. And then Monday, I went in. I don't think I had classes on Monday, but I went in anyways on Monday. And I basically lived in the computer lab that day. I taught myself logistic and bivariate regression. I figured out how to do it in the statistical software we're using, SPSS. Um, I wrote up notes as I was going and put them in layman's terms, so they're very simple, straightforward notes. And then I built a tutorial in SPSS so that my classmates could follow along. And then uh, the next day, the next evening, well, next day, I went over it over and over and over again. And then that evening, after tweaking it and stuff, I went up there and I taught it. And I said, okay, everybody open SPSS, do this, this, and this. And see, this is how you do this, and this is how you do this. Now, if you take a piece of paper, you can work it out by hand. And, those sorts of things. I don't think I ever did that. But I did, I had scanned, well, also on Monday night, I had scanned pictures, like tables out of the books, and, segments of it. And I put it all up I put it into a Word document, because I emailed it all out to everybody in the class so that they could use my lesson as notes for themselves. And so test came along a few weeks later, and bam, we all schooled it. So, and to this day, I can't remember exactly what happened. I just know I did it, and I know I can do it again if I have to. And to be honest, I think that's one of the shining moments of my entire educational career, where I was able to take a topic one day and teach it the next. I mean, it was just fundamentally one of the coolest things I've ever done. And I want to be given the opportunity to do it again and again and again, because I have that capacity. I want to use it. I want to take advantage of it. And I want a company or agency or what have you to benefit from such an ability. I don't want it to go to waste. As it is, though, I'm working on tweaking my resume and writing this cover letter last night. A buddy of mine hops up online and he says, hey, what does expertise mean in Star Wars The Old Republic? And I immediately go straight to Google, bam, bam, found out what it was able to make derivative statements from that information and fill them in. He really didn't care about all the details, but I did. So in the middle of doing one thing, I was able to research and do another thing, however small it may have been. So I'm quite capable of multitasking. I just wish I could have gotten that cover letter in, because I felt it was some of my best writing, and I feel it came across very passionately about the position I wanted to go for, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I don't think it's gonna happen. I hope. I really do hope. But the realist in me is like, yeah. They screwed you. Oh well. There are other jobs, I suppose. Yeah. Anyways, until next time.